welcome to another exciting episode of the Why I Love Disney podcast. I'm here with Easton and David. As always, what's up, fellas? How you feeling today?
Hey.
Yo, doing good.
Have you stayed dry? There's been rain everywhere. We've had 2 hurricanes in like 2 weeks. It's crazy out there. Are you guys staying safe and dry?
We are.
So North Carolina is still in rough shape, and that's actually the biggest news of the week is Disney's closed. It doesn't close very often, but it is closed today because of Hurricane Milton. Have you heard any or seen any news? Has anything been damaged? Is it just out of safety? I know they do this when there's hurricane evacuations. It's become more of a common thing in the last 15 years. Maybe there's more storms. I'm not really sure, but have you heard any news on what's up at Disney with the Hurricane Milton?
Well, when I got up this morning, I saw that there was a lot of fake news had gone around showing pictures of the parks flooded, but a lot of that stuff was being refuted, and everybody was saying, it wasn't, the parks weren't as hit as bad. I did see a lot of damage from other areas, so we're, of course, thinking about those people that are waking up and dealing with all that. That is always a scary place to be. So, but I didn't see a lot at Disney.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of news. I did see an article today that the hurricane, the closures, and everything factored in cost Disney about $150 million so far.
Yeah.
In lost revenue. That is wild to me. When Walt Disney World shuts down, you think about it, there's no concessions, there's no parking money, there's no ticket money, they're refund all sorts of things happening there, and that's how much it cost them to be down for just a few days. It's kind of unbelievable.
It is amazing.
But our thoughts and prayers are with everyone down there. I think it ended up hitting as a category 3, which is definitely better than the category 5, but that's still kind of hairy and kind of a risky endeavor for everybody, and we hope everybody is okay and we get good reports that things are okay with everyone. So thinking through this, I was looking at the list of topics today. I was just kind of going through my Disney Plus feed, and you know how we've talked about, for instance, it's not just Disney anymore. You get Hulu stuff and you get ABC, you get all sorts of random shows on your Disney Plus now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking. So I opened mine up, and guess what? The number one thing, live. ABC News tracking Milton. So now I can get a live news feed through Disney Plus. That is wild to me too.
Yeah, not really what I want to go to Disney Plus for, but obviously if that's the number one feed, I guess somebody is.
I guess if Disney owns all this, they're trying to keep eyeballs in there, right? And if they can be your live news source as well, because that would be one of the reasons I turned Disney Plus off, is so I can turn on the live news, And if they can keep me captive in the app, that seems like maybe that's a good business move. I don't know. I'm kind of like you, David. I know you like it kind of compartmentalized. You like your Disney entertainment here and your news over here and your sports over here, because man, there's enough bad news in the world. Let's keep the Disney family friendly and fun, and let's keep the bad news over at the news. I totally get that, but from a business standpoint, do you think this might work?
Well, I still think it's probably more of an indication that there's really not a lot of movement on Disney Plus, and so they're doing everything they can to throw as much as they can through that portal, so that you have to go there for Hulu or the news. Maybe that's what they're doing it for. I have a feeling it's unfortunately because there's not a lot to see, and mostly what's there is kids watching Bluey. I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at, and this could be me. I'm logged in as me, the dad account, and They know my age. So I haven't seen my kids, but I'm looking at the newly added recommendations. Number 1, Hulu show. Number 2, FX, horror show. Number 3, FX, Aaron Hernandez, the serial killer that played football, the documentary on him. Hulu, Reasonable Doubt. Abbott Elementary, ABC. That's the first kind of maybe family-friendly show. Then you get to Agatha All on the 6th one. You have to scroll over to get to the first Disney Plus original on the newly added. Then you get a whole bunch of ABC shows, then Hulu, then FX, and then keep going. ABC, Hulu, ABC, Dancing with the Stars, Big City. Here's Disney Channel, Big City Greens. Then the next one is Inside Out 2. I mean, you have to scroll 3 times to get to any Disney content. Yeah. I think that does kind of tell you the business model they're approaching here.
Yeah, and mine does the same thing. Even though I really don't watch any of those things, my family uses those. Like I think Dancing with the Stars, they've watched through my everybody in my family can check in on theirs, but for some reason on the TV, it's easier just to go in through my account, and so my name, and so. A lot of those things that the family watches pop up in mine, but I still get way more adult, non-Disney content than Disney content, which is what I would go there for myself.
It's interesting. Yeah. Now, I'm almost completely caught up on Agatha all along. I didn't watch last night's episode. We're recording this on Thursday, and the episodes drop on Wednesdays. But I'm 4 episodes in, and I'll say it's an entertaining show. It's well done. It's well acted, well written. I will say if you're not into witches, it's probably, you may not enjoy it so much. But it's very captivating. It's creepy. It's great for Halloween. It's probably definitely not for little kids, but teens, adults. It's a really solid show. It doesn't feel like Marvel at all, but it's interesting. It's in the realm. So I want to give a little update on that I am keeping up with it all.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I would probably not watch it again because I've seen you're the only person I know that has said that I've talked to about it. So I'm not sure.
What has been the feedback you've heard? I've
just heard that it's not good. I've heard it's not very good, and kind of the opposite of what you just said. I did see an article that said the numbers were going up a little bit on it. I don't know how people know those things, but that more people are watching it now than were at first. I do think probably as it gets closer to Halloween, people will be looking for things like that and checking it out. But I don't know. It just didn't look like...
I would call it a deep cut, right? So, we finally got the name Mephisto was dropped in an episode, and now then the kids start going, wait a second, who's the... And you start to get a little bit down the road of where the fun part of Marvel is trying to figure out who's connected to what characters in the universe, right? Mm-hmm. So that's always interesting. But I really do think that the acting is pretty good and pretty interesting, and the storyline is creative, and it's visually really, really good. So I've enjoyed it so far. We'll see how it ends. I remember with a lot of Disney Plus shows, they're trapped in this sort of. You remember Kenobi? Obi-Wan Kenobi, that show. You remember the first few episodes? Mm-hmm. The reviews were just so like, this is so awful, and it's slow, and what is going on? What have they done to our character? And then by the end, everybody's like, all right, that was worth the wait, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit of that was Ahsoka also. It's interesting with these new shows, they have to grab the audience and can't lose the audience at the beginning, right? And wait, because they won't stick around for the finale because we don't have to. There's just so much to watch. Right. So it is interesting as they create shows. You've got to come out swinging from episode 1 and 2 to keep people interested. But I do think that this has kept us in. So anyhow, just wanted to update about a Disney Plus original series. It's also Marvel. Have y'all seen anything else that you're excited about, either on Disney Plus or otherwise?
We went and saw Wild Robot yesterday.
Wild Robot, Universal Pictures, I believe, right?
DreamWorks, yep. The creator Chris Sanders, who's probably most famous for being the voice of Stitch, being over Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon and a few other things, was in charge of this. And so, Easton, what did you think?
Well, I thought it was really, really good. I thought the story was good. I thought the characters were... Going into it, I was like kind of not sure about the whole thing. Like, It looked like it was going to be, okay. I thought I was going to come out of it being like, that was good. But it was actually... Everything about it was great. It was actually kind of refreshing to go in and watch a good movie.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I didn't know a lot about it. I knew some of the cast, but I really didn't pay any attention. I just saw the good reviews, and so we went, and I really thought it was good. It felt very classic to me. It just seemed like something everybody could enjoy. It did not have any overtones that I thought, depending on where you are, might upset someone. It just felt very good and very kind of felt universal. And it was beautiful. I mean, I thought the animation was great. I think there was some overtones, like you could go, well, there's like WALL-E at some points maybe, and a little bit like Big Hero 6. at some point, and Zootopia a little bit at some point. It's all kind of rolled into one, but that's probably not really fair because it's based on a book, and I haven't read the book. I don't know the source material, so I think it probably any robot movie is going to have a little bit of that comparison. But I thought it was good, and I thought it was well done. That this every time you think the story, okay, that's the story. Oh no, there's another level. Oh, yeah, now it goes to another level, and I thought that was really good because it could have been a lesser story, and I thought they kept the development really well. I liked the way that you kept thinking, okay, that's the climb. Oh no, that's not the climax. Oh no, now we're going here, and so it was good. I really thought overall it was very good, and it felt very family friendly for sure.
I'm actually, y'all talked me into it. I'm now can't wait to see it. In fact, it's got 98% review on Rotten Tomatoes, both critically and by fans. 98 for both, which is the highest thing out right now. As a matter of fact, my kids went and saw it with grandparents, and they loved it. Mm-hmm. So I might actually go to the source material and find the book first. I might go with that route. Because I do think, as my kids described the story to me, it almost felt like there's an AI lesson in this, kind of where it's very timely as well. So I'm excited about this. Really, really excited.
Yeah, I mean, she has to learn to go with her programming or to adapt, which is a lot of everybody in life deals with. This is the way you may think now, and then your thoughts change, and you're always growing. And of course, this is a robot, and that's not the way they're usually programmed to behave. So. But I think we all go through times like that where we rethink things, and we're growing and we're changing and we're learning. And so wherever you are and whatever your background and beliefs and things like that, you experience those things.
Then you said it's family friendly. That's great. I can actually see, I'm already thinking of the live action remake of this called The Wild Robot Reimagined. And I know you love that. And what they do, and this is where it kind of goes the opposite way, and he just kind of takes over humanity and just obliterates us all because it's programmed. That's more Terminator. But this is like the family friendly Terminator is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I do think I was kind of looking at the movies that are coming out. Beetlejuice is doing really well at the theaters. In addition, I've also, the new Joker movie came out, and the reviews on it have been absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Both critically and by fans. I mean, people hate this movie.
Well, and I have to. I saw a lot of the critics. All the ads, everything I saw, Lady Gaga being in. I still didn't know it was a musical. So there were people that walked out because they didn't even know it was a musical. They went in not knowing and were like, "What is this?" and just left.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a musical.
It did feel like why would you make a musical? But like it. People didn't know. Now, of course, a lot of the commentators were saying, well, we've been reporting on this forever, but, everybody doesn't watch everything. So a lot of people were caught off guard. So, yeah, it went from what, $1 billion at the theater to people walking out. That's pretty sad. I was actually
going to lose a lot of money.
Again, shocked that, when you hear Joaquin and Lady Gaga and the director made more money than the original budget of the first movie. Yeah. That's staggering these days. That's when things get like I don't even you kind of don't want to support it.
Yeah, it almost feels like when you think about an actor like Joaquin Phoenix, who I've said on this show and many other times could be the greatest American living actor, right at the moment. Right. This is the guy who was Johnny Cash. This is the guy who was Commodus in Gladiator. This is Joker, right? This dude is an incredible actor. And it almost feels like, hear me out. Here's my conspiracy theory. All right, we need like Easton, can you come up with like a little like jingle for any time I spout a conspiracy theory, just to kind of give us a notice.
I can hear it now. Here we are, Conspiracy Corner.
There we go. Perfect. That's perfect. For now, just do that.
Conspiracy Corner. I think that was good thinking.
They are the type of people the artsy fartsy whatever, that are going to take the studio's money, a commercial success, and they're just going to make something terrible for art's sake, right? To prove a point. And there's some sort of other point they're trying to make in all this. That's what they're too good. They're too good and too talented not to know this was going to suck and everyone was going to hate it. And I think they're happy with everyone hating it.
I think you're probably right. Hey, don't get me started looking for conspiracies, because I can find them in anything.
Well,
if you want me to look for them in Wild Robot, I could probably find them. I chose not to. I chose to take it for what it was and said, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. I was grateful that I went and it wasn't glaring, I guess is the right word.
Yeah.
You know, that it wasn't like, oh, there it is. You know, that's why they made the movie. No, you just want to go and hope that. But, you know, and a lot of people, even movies like Inside Out 2, you know, you go and you think, okay, that was good. And then you start seeing reports that say, well, they took this out and they took this out and they took this out. This wasn't what it was going to be, but this is what it became because they were trying to pull back and be safe. So, you know, you can find conspiracies everywhere. Who knows?
In a smaller scale, we do that too. You know, what are they going to like, or what are they not going to get? What is not going to land well? You know, we're always thinking of editing to the end, right?
Right.
I think that's part of the process, and I'm grateful they did it.
There's always usually someone that you're working with or for that's guiding it and knows what the audience wants. If you write country music and you try to write classical music for a country artist, they're going to probably go, this isn't exactly what we're looking for.
Right.
So, you know, same way with movies, you got to kind of know who the audience is, but a lot of times that's not what directors and actors want to make, because if it depends on why you go into the business. If you go into the business to make because you love film and you love making great movies, or you go into the business because you have a platform that you want to promote, then that's going to guide what your movies are about and what the message of your movies. And so that's what we've seen a lot of. That's just what we've seen a lot for right now in Hollywood. There's a lot of people with a mindset that they want to promote, and so you get it in a lot of things.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. You get to the end of the process and you're like, do we want to make money and people happy and like this movie, or do we want to preach a message? You know, so it's almost like you choose one or the other. It's really tough to walk that line and do a little bit of both. But I will say, I'm looking at the top 20 box office domestic gross for 2024. And would you like to, you should know how many Walt Disney Studios movies are in the top 20. This is the total gross for 2024 right now, as of today.
Well, I know it's higher than I would think, because you have to put Deadpool and Wolverine in there, and Inside Out too.
There's two. Yeah, that's actually number 1 and number 2.
Okay, and then there's something I'm not thinking of right off the top of my head, because it's not really Disney, but it's a subsidiary, right? I'm probably thinking.
So you have one. On the list, there is only one 20th Century Studios.
That's
movie.
what I'm trying to think of. Which one? What was that? Oh,
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Planet of the Apes.
Number 10, and there's one more. This is actually Walt Disney Studios, which I didn't realize it was, but it is. It's not super obvious.
Is it live action?
Yes.
Yeah, I know this too, but my brain is just not.
You'll kick yourself. All right.
Yeah.
Alien. Yeah. Romulus.
Yeah.
Which is actually surprised me, as well as we've just kind of gushing at Disney's box office success with, of course, the top 2. That's like 8 normal movies, right? That made so much money. But there's only 4 representatives in the top 20 so far. Now, you would assume that Mufasa and Moana 2 are going to be on this list by the year end. So that gives them more representation. But 4 out of 20 is not dominating, right? You get down looking at Universal. Despicable Me 4 is number 3. Twisters, also Universal's number 5. Kung Fu Panda 4. I forgot that came out. But it made a lot of money. And then you have The Fall Guy. And then a lot of Warner Brothers on here. A couple of Paramount. So yeah, interesting all around.
Yeah, and the things that you just mentioned seem to be way more family movies than the things that Disney's on there for.
That's true. I'm looking at rated R movies on this list. Deadpool and Wolverine, 1.
Aliens.
I'm pretty sure Godzilla versus and Kong is PG-13. Aliens would be another R-rated movie. A Quiet Place is Paramount. I think that's a horror movie. I'm not sure if it's PG-13 or R, but I don't think that's a family movie. Regardless of its rating. Bad Boys, Ride or Die. That's probably rated R. So, yeah, so there's a representation of adult movies. I'll tell you what won't be on here, Joker. So let me ask you this: as we lead, we're wrapping up. I know we're gonna do this. Are there any Halloween movies that you're excited you either rewatch every year or would like to watch, or something new that's Halloween themed that's going to come out that you'd like to check out?
Oh, Disney-wise, you have to go back and watch Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. You got to get the Headless Horseman in there. That's since I was a kid, that was kind of the classic. A lot of people love Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like, is it at Christmas or is it a Halloween movie? Hocus Pocus will do well, but for me, it was as a kid, it was always the Headless Horseman. You got to go watch Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
All right, yeah, we'll put that. I'm writing this down.
There you go.
Making a list.
Ditto. We didn't really have, growing up, we didn't really have a Halloween, we watched it every year kind of tradition. But when I got to college, a friend of mine that I lived with for a little while, his tradition was to watch Nightmare Before Christmas at Halloween every year. So him and I did watch that for the few years that we lived together. We did watch that. But that style
Halloween? Adam Sandler?
Oh, that one's funny. That's a funny one. That one's hilarious.
David, I'm going to ask you, actually, the reason I bring this up is for this specific selfish purpose. Back before Disney Plus existed, on Netflix, there were a handful of old Mickey Mouse Disney cartoons. My kids, when they were really young, we would put those on and they would watch them over and over. And there was, it would be like, it's an hour long, but there's shorts, like 15-minute, 10-minute segments of different Disney cartoons, classic older cartoons, right? There's one where I believe Donald is in there and there's ghosts and...
That's Lonesome Ghost.
Lonesome Ghost?
Yeah, where they're the ghost hunters. They're the original Ghostbusters and they go to the house to get rid of the ghosts.
No, I don't think that's it. That doesn't sound like
that's Donald, Goofy, and Mickey and their ghost hunters.
No, Mickey's not in this one. It's only Donald.
Is it the one where Huey, Dewey, and Louie are trick-or-treating?
Yes, that's the one.
That's called Trick or Treat.
Oh, man. I think that might be my favorite. My kids watch that over and over. It's got it. I can almost hum the song right now.
Yeah, Trick or Treat.
I need to find that.
Trick or Treat. Witch Hazel is the character there, the witch.
Okay. That's right.
Donald doesn't want to give them the treat, so the witch comes in and helps the guys out.
Plays the trick. Yeah, there you go. You better have candy.
That's a good one. That's on Disney Plus.
Is it on Disney Plus? All right, maybe I'm gonna watch that. Well, thank you guys for your time, and we thank you, our listeners, for your time. We love it when you hang out with us. We love if you would leave us a review. We'd like to read some of those on the air here in the near future. 5 stars would be awesome, and also share it with a friend. Let us know what you think. What are your Halloween traditions? What are your favorite Disney Halloween moments that maybe become a tradition in your family or you'd like to be? Let us know. You can reach us at whyilovedisney.com or on Instagram or Twitter. And until next time, fellas, thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.